Chris Young. This will be the last time we talk to Lisa Lanier.
I've heard that before.
Say that right now.
Show's not over.
I hope she enjoys it because it's our last segment.
That's right.
Unless we need her for an emergency later, this is it for Lisa Lanier. Lisa, thank goodness you're available because this is an emergency session. How are you?
I am fantastic, and I have this idea that you're going to be like calling me from your house. You know what I'm saying?
Never say never.
Hopefully you won't be hiding in a closet from a man selling straw.
I've done that. Okay, I've done that before, as you know, with a football helmet on. Yes, I have called Lisa from my closet, sitting there shaking with my knees up around my chest. But that was during the Jaquantavius Pine Straw incident.
The return.
Yes.
Never forget it.
Part 2, the return of Jaquantavius. Now, this is not even on the docket, but I'll just say this. 1 hour ago, B.B. Shea made this statement. I wanted to get your reaction to it. And I'll try to quote him directly. B.B. Shea said, "This Luigi Mangione, I don't think homeboy did it." Lisa,
can he make a case?
Yes, let's get B.B. Shea to make his case. That's all he said so far. What is your reasoning?
Now, it's all pretty much conspiratorial, which that's where I live. And
yes.
But my main thing is he's too good looking.
He's too good looking.
Good looking people don't do crimes like this.
Right.
Now, if it had come up me being the suspect,
right?
Yeah, okay, I'd have believed it.
Yes.
But I don't know. There's just a lot of questions I have about the situation.
Yes.
Well,
despite his manifesto?
Right.
And
having the gun on him.
The 3D printed gun. That's just a little sketchy to me.
A little too much for you.
Little weird to me. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry, but I just don't believe he knew that was the United Healthcare CEO.
Oh. But you could easily find that information.
You could find that out, but that's just that's niche. Mm-hmm. And he shot him from the back, too. And he was 100% sure that was the guy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. This is the inside job of somebody very smart who's done this before.
Maybe he did it but was paid off by somebody.
That's another thing I believe. I believe he was a patsy. Mm-hmm. I believe this is similar to a
Lee Harvey
LHO
Oswald
situation, yeah.
Okay, an LHO.
Yeah, this is an LHO situation.
We're not doing that.
Have you seen the image where they say it can't be him because in the photos of the killer, he does not have a unibrow, but in reality...
I've seen that too, yeah. Like there's just a lot of open questions for me. I'm not fully convinced.
B.B. Shea's a bit of a conspiracy guy. Remember, B.B. Shea is the same person who thinks that COVID was created because there was a shift in time, literal time, and COVID was created to distract us from the fact that time had slowed down and we had lost some years. Mm-hmm. I thought about that, B.B. Shea. Do you think that's why my clock in my minivan went back 25
I mean, when did it start?
At that time.
Exactly.
Right around
it's not a coincidence.
COVID times.
Yeah.
It started in COVID times. Now my clock says that the year is 2002. And B.B. Shea thinks all this works together. Well, all that being said, Luigi Mangione is in the news today because United Healthcare is trying to stop the sale of Luigi merchandise. And as Chris Demm says, they have an interesting twist on this. Copyright violation. Sorry, you can't use this.
That's above our pay grade. That's legal.
Is that? Well, I mean, people are selling Luigi merchandise, and like the merchandise he was wearing, the jacket he was wearing is selling like crazy from Levi and so forth because he's become such a folk hero, oddly to me. But what do you think? Can they stop anyone from selling this type of stuff, Lisa Lanier?
Not using the copyright. So they're trying to use the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, which has been around for a pretty long time now. Mm-hmm. And I think it's such a stretch. As long as these artists and these entrepreneurs who are selling this merchandise, as long as they're not using any of the United Healthcare intellectual property, their logos, their images, which they're not. I mean, they're just using Luigi, right, his image. Mm-hmm. Then I don't think they have a chance. But where they do have a chance is the non-legal avenue that they're taking, which is to go to vendors like Amazon and eBay and say, don't sell this stuff. It's promoting this terrible violence against, people like us. And I think the whole thing of trying to use the Copyright Act is going to backfire on them because it's just exactly what the whole movement of Free Luigi is about. It's this big company that thinks they can do whatever they want and bully the little guy and, deny claims and whatever. So now they're trying to say, and by the way, you can't use images. It's exactly what people are upset with them about. Yeah. So I think it's really kind of going to backfire on them. But no, I don't think they can succeed under the Copyright Act. But they are having some success with vendors like eBay pulling the merchandise voluntarily.
Well, I think eBay, I guess they don't have a legal
No, it's not a legal reason. It's just, well, they say it's their policy. eBay says it's their policy that they will not allow merchandise that promotes violence or some such stuff like that. But that's not true.
And I think it does. I think it does promote violence. I hope that eBay and Amazon and these will pull it offline.
This is what we've done now is open the door to, well, let's see what other criminals are on shirts.
Right. Of course.
Or on merchandise.
Because people were buying Charles Manson merchandise for years and probably O.J. Simpson merchandise and all that stuff. Don't you think?
Probably.
There were people. I saw a documentary on Charles Manson 15 years ago, and a guy at the end was saying, I think it's sick that people walk around with like free Charles Manson T-shirts and sweatshirts and so forth.
Oh, yeah. He's on T-shirt. He's still on T-shirts. I mean, there's still
Yeah, exactly. We should bring up also that Charles Manson was nearly married in prison while our own Biggie sat by single. He complained about it at the time. We know what the Menendez brothers have done. Luigi's got a million women that would marry him now already. Another case, emergency Lisa Lanier. Sylvester Stallone, celebrity under attack. He has angered his neighbors. He's got a home in Palm Beach he paid $35 million for, and he wants to build a barrier in the intercoastal waterway right next to his property because he says that seaweed comes in from the intercoastal waterway, and this is a way to protect the environment because seaweed gets into an area it shouldn't, so he's building this barrier. However, everybody that lives around him says the seaweed excuse is nonsense. He wants boats to be precluded from being in his area in front of his house because he didn't want to look at the boats. This environmental project is a bunch of poppycock, and the neighbors say they've been blindsided by it. Lisa, I think I have to agree with the neighbors on this. What do you think about Stallone trying to build this barrier next to his house?
Yeah, you're not supposed to do that. You know, you don't own the ocean. You don't own the, intercoastal waterway. And I think this is on sort of a hybrid piece of water, right? It's like brackish water. It's not the ocean, I don't think, but it's like a little, almost like a lake, they called it.
Right.
But he doesn't own the water, and so I do think it feeds into the ocean, and so manatees come over and the seaweed washes over. He put down on the Army Corps of Engineers application, his number one reason was to keep boats from in front of his property. He was blatant about it. And then number two, he said, and seaweed. And so, but here's the thing, he's politically dialed in, they are near Mar-a-Lago and, with Trump and the new administration.
Yeah.
So he may just get it because of politics, but the pure application of the standards of the Army Corps of Engineer, no, he should not get it. You're not really supposed to do that. You don't get to block off part of the water and say, hey, this is in front of my house, so you can't come here.
Okay.
But he may get away with it just because he's dialed in with, politically.
I was surprised. I saw him at like some Trump rallies after Trump won the presidency. I didn't know he was a Trump supporter until recently. But you're right. He has moved to the Palm Beach area because it's close to Mar-a-Lago and all that. And he's got that. I mean, apparently his neighbors said this is a beautiful piece of property, but they said just what you said. Yeah. He doesn't own the water. He can't do this. Yeah. We'll see if it works out for him or not. Another celebrity under attack today. It's Adele. She has a song called Million Years Ago. Chris Demm's a huge Adele fan. Do you know this song? I don't think it's a big hit.
Can I hear it? I don't. The title doesn't jump out at me.
This is Adele, Million Years Ago.
I only wanted to have fun, learning to fly, learning to run. I let my heart decide the way when I was young.
Now, Christian, he ain't gonna like this because he doesn't like these kinds of lawsuits to begin with, but there is a Brazilian composer who says this song is plagiarism because it sounds way too much like my song, which is called Mulheres. And we have an example of that song as well.
Já tive mulheres de todas as cores, de várias idades, de muitos amores, com umas até certo tempo fiquei, para outras apenas pouco me dei.
So what the representatives for this composer are trying to do is have all streaming services shut down the playing of the Adele song. Does it sound too much? Does this song sound too much like the Brazilian song? Lisa, Chris Demm's giving thumbs down. He does not like these kinds of lawsuits. Lisa Lanier, will the composer be successful?
Well, so far he is being very successful because he sued her he sued her in Brazilian court, and a Brazilian judge has put an injunction on this song and has said that anyone who plays it will be fined. I think it's the equivalent of $8,000 per occurrence of playing the song. Now, how enforceable is that from Brazil? Probably difficult. But so far, as far as, they suing in Brazil, he's winning. I don't really get it. I mean, I'm not a, huge music expert or anything, but I don't see that much similarity, but hey, maybe it's because it's in a different language and it's a little different tempo. I don't know. But
I didn't hear it either.
I don't hear any similarities.
I don't get it.
They don't sound similar at all. And if I feel like Adele, because she probably has the resources, should fight this and say, come on, this is wrong.
She's got $1 billion. Boom. See what it did there?
Yeah, I know exactly. That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, why not? Just fight it. If I were her, I would.
That's expensive.
She is. Yeah, I think she is.
Oh, she is fine. I mean, yes, it is expensive, but it's
and
like
you may get dragged into court.
Yeah. You can't just, but I don't think you should just lay down to these types of things. Do you think if she did say, hey, well, let me just give you $2 million and I can play it anytime I want, would he accept that, do you think?
That happens a lot of the time, for sure.
Yeah.
And that may happen. I don't know. But some artists are really fighting, like Ed Sheeran, and he was, he fought it, and several people have, and I think we're getting to a point, at least in the United States, when these things are litigated. Folks are saying, look, there are only so many ways to arrange notes, and we're running out of space. Like it's just like we're at the end of the line.
Yep.
So you're going to have some repeats.
Right.
And so, I don't know, but I didn't even get this at all. But again, it could be, if you looked at the note arrangement, if you're some kind of music expert, it may be very similar, just a different tempo. But to me, that changes everything about it.
I agree. Mm-hmm. My dear friend Biggie would call that a money grab.
Yes, he would.
Yeah,
exactly
it probably is a money grab.
Lisa, what are you planning for Christmas? Are you traveling?
No. I'm staying home, and we
You won't come over?
Yeah, exactly. My oldest kid is in college in New York and only wants to just come home and hibernate. So we're gonna be home hibernating.
Oh yes, well, wonderful. Well, listen, this is the last time we're going to talk to you. So,
have a Merry Christmas.
I feel sure you're going to call me. Maybe over the weekend or something. I think
it's possible. You're an expert. You're a legal expert. That's why we go to you, LanierLawGroup.com or HireAHeavyweight.com. Thank you so much for everything this year, and have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
You as well.
There she goes. LanierLawGroup.com or HireAHeavyweight.com. I was just reading about Christmas that women, and this is true in our house, the wife handles 90% of all decorating, of everything that is done. The planning of hosting Christmas or having people over for Christmas is all done. And in fact, the study, it came out that women in the parenting do 80% of the parenting as well. And again, I would have to agree with that. I think that's probably, at least in my house, because like even last night when my son was desperately trying to get into Tennessee, my wife was really shepherding all of that while I sat back and said, just wait, we'll take it as it comes. In fact, going along with that article, I saw the comedian, her name is Leanne Morgan, and she was talking about, she's got a good Southern Tennessee accent, in fact, talking about doing everything for the holidays.
I can't even think about going on one of these trips until I can get through Christmas. And I don't mean to sound like everything falls on me, but everything falls on me. I love my family, but they don't do anything to help me. I do all the decorating, the cooking, the cleaning, the wrapping, the shopping, all that. Last year, on December the 24th, my husband said to me, "Can I help you do anything?" And I said, "I'm going to beat you to death."
I can't tell you how many times my wife has said to me, "I may kill you in your sleep." It's the kind of relationship we have. It's honest, it's open.